What if you could launch your products or service and in your very first week, get 5, 10, 15, 20, or even more customers because you did some things right? You didn't just wait to complete building your product or service before going after your customers, right? To go after your customers successfully, you need a great landing page, one that convinces your customer that your solution is the right one for them. In this webinar, I'm going to be showing you my own framework for building high converting landing pages so you can grow your customer base. Now, these principles I'm going to be talking about in this webinar are the same I've been applying since 2021, and my team and I have applied it in over 50 startups at Hera Marketing, and we've helped founders find their first set of customers. So what are the frameworks? Here. You can't go wrong with these frameworks. AIDA, PAS, FAB, For You, and Pastor. Stick with me in this video. I'm going to be walking through what those acronyms mean, how you can apply them, and how they can help you find your first set of customers or go after an entirely different markets. So who am I? My name is Amadi. I'm the CEO of Drogo AI and the founder of Hera Marketing. I've been a software engineer since 2009. I started my first company in media in 2014, started my next one in 2019, and since then I've launched over 7 different products and services, and at least 3 of them are fairly profitable, so that's good. And best of all, I still write code, but this time because I want to. Now, I'm assuming you're here because you fall in 3 major categories. The first is you've taken the mental step. You want to start a business. You've thought about it, you said, yes, I do want to start my own company. I have a problem I want to solve. I have a solution I want to offer to the world, everything around that. So the second is the product step. So you've built a product or you've honed a skill with a service that you want to offer people, and you believe that people are going to be willing to pay for it. This is the time you want to bring it to the market, or you just launched it. So it's great. Good. Stick with me and I will show you how you can go after people who would want to pay for that product or service, or how you can get feedback. And the third is the business step. You've registered a business. And that means you've gone all in. You're not just thinking about the idea, you're not just thinking about the product. You've committed. You've registered your business. You're ready to start transacting as an entity. You're ready to go all in into your solution. Great. Let's explore these frameworks together and how you can use them to find the first set of customers. Congratulations. You've mentally done this, or you've already started doing this. The important thing here is you've taken the first step. So everything should be great, right? Well, I have good news and bad news for you. The good news is that you've taken the first step, right? The bad news is that the first step is not necessarily the hardest. What lies await for you ahead is even more difficult. And that's why 9 in 10 startups fail. Now, what makes the successful ones succeed? So I don't know all the answers to success, but I know what you shouldn't do. Don't build and wait for people to come. Just doesn't work. As early as possible, you want to go after your markets. Now, how do you go after your market? The first thing you do is to define the problem you're solving. This is very important before you write any single text on your landing page. You have to know the problem you're solving. You have to define who will use your solution. The third thing you want to do is to be really clear on how your target user wants you to solve this problem. And finally, you want to be clear on who will pay for the solution. You have to get all this right before you think about your landing page. Stick with me to the end, and we have a special package for people who want to research into how to do all these, and I'll share more details at the end of this webinar. So let's dig in a bit more. How do you define the problem you're solving? The first thing you want to do is to ask yourself, what do I think is a problem, right? And now you have to write this down. So if you're home, if you're at work, wherever you're listening to this, you want to get out a small jotter and write, what do I think is the problem? And then articulate to yourself what your version of the problem is in your head, right? The second thing you want to do is clarify what other people think the problem is, especially your pain, especially people who you believe will pay for the problem. What do they think the problem is? Does it match with what you think the problem is? And the third thing you want to do is gauge how much of a problem other people think it is. All right, so it's one thing to define a problem. Is there nothing to even find out if it's problematic enough that people will pay for it? And then the fourth thing you want to do is to find out how your target market is already solving this problem. What exactly are they doing? It doesn't matter if it's straightforward, if it's not. What exactly are they doing? Why is it helpful? Again, This might not be as straightforward, especially if you've not done it before. Stick with me to the end of this video. There is a challenge that is entirely free that you could be part of that helps you for 5 days go through specific steps that by the end of the 5th day, you would have completely gone through all this and really identified your customer. All right, so now you know your problem. With your knowledge of your problem, the market, and the solution you're willing to pay for, you can go design a landing page and start locking in these customers. Let's go over these 5 frameworks that I shared earlier that you could use and how you could use them. The next part of this video is going to be talking through those 4 frameworks: AIDA, PAS, FAB, For You, and Pastor. I'll walk you through how we can use them and how they can help you get your first set of customers even when your product is not ready. The attention, interest, desire, and action formula is one of my favorite because it's one of the most common formulas on the internet. You've seen it a lot, maybe without realizing. It walks the user through the process of capturing attention, building interest, creating desire, and prompting action. Let's break down AIDA a bit more. So the first thing you want to do when using the AIDA framework is to grab attention. Now you could use a strong headline, big text, very bold image, whatever it is, grab the user's attention. The next thing you want to do is to start building interest. Now remember the research you had done about the customer pain points? This is when you apply it. So the customer looks at your web page and know, okay, this person is addressing my problem. The third thing you want to do is create desire. Now, after hopefully you've held the customer's interest and they feel like, okay, this is interesting. Now speak to that thing they want to do. Again, from your research. Here you want to highlight the benefits of using your product and social proof. If you've not launched your product, let it be things that you have done personally, right? If you've not launched your service, let it be something you've done personally and what people have said about you doing them personally, and it's fine. Now, the fourth thing you want to do is to get people to take action. Let your CTA be super clear. Let it be very, very specific. So these are some examples. Most landing pages, banners, and most of the hero section is typically the AIDA framework of those who know how to do it right. You see the large text grabbing attention and what they do, and then the call to action. You say the same thing, modern event platform, what they do, and a call to action. That's kind of how AIDA works. You see even more examples of AIDA in action: bold text, addressing the user's pain points, and then call to action. Now, what makes AIDA powerful? First, AIDA acknowledges that 60% of the people that visit your landing page might not scroll past the first screen. So it tries to tell your story, the pain point, and testimonials as efficiently as possible within that first screen, increasing the chances that the visitor would be interested enough to at least read more or just convert. And for this reason, the AIDA framework is very, very common in banners, and just like the first screen, it will pop up too. Now it's time to go look at your landing page and see if it follows the AIDA framework, or if there are some things you could do better to make sure you're capturing attention, building interests, creating desire, and getting people to take an action. Last but not least, AIDA aims to convert and not just be fancy. So the principles here are very important. So you don't just have amazing, if your website is beautiful and it's not converting, there's more work to be done. So review your website and see if you want to apply AIDA. And the second framework I want to talk about is the PAS. Now, it's targeting in the sense that most websites are a combination of several of these frameworks. And again, if you want to be part of a group of people that would apply these frameworks every day for 5 days, stick with me to the end so I introduce you to the 5-day, 5 customer challenge, and you can be part of it. Back to PAS. PAS, it's problem, agitation, solution. The first thing you do is to push the problem to the front of the user so the user knows, okay, yes, this is my problem. The next thing PAS does is really creates a sense of urgency so the user is reminded how much of a problem it really is. And then the third thing is present your solution. So let's go over it again. You go a problem, then you emphasize the pain point or the consequences of not solving that problem, and then you provide a product or service as the solution. Let's take an example using the SaaS productivity tool. The problem could be like, are you tired of wasting hours on unproductive meetings? And then you could go, unproductive meetings cost your business time and money, leading to frustrations and missed opportunities, just kind of creating that sense of urgency, building the narrative. And then solution. Our meeting management tool streamlines scheduling, collaboration, and follow-ups, saving you time and boosting productivity. Let's look at a few landing pages that have used them in the wild. Look at them. You see, problem. This is from a tool that helps people get leads. So the problem this tool is putting together is this. Your customer is going to pay somebody else. Why don't they pay you? And then it goes. Businesses know they can't afford. It just goes into a litany of advocating for urgency and then presents a solution at the end. So now what makes PAS efficient? PAS typically starts with a question, hooks the user in with that question. Are you tired of unproductive meetings? Like, do you want your competitor to get paid instead of you? And it throws in some urgency to the problem. Don't let the competitor take your money. Businesses have failed, just kind of let people know that, see, this problem you're trying to solve is a problem. Remember, it's a problem. And then the third thing is addressing the user pain point as directly and as specifically as possible. Now, because of the way it's laid out, PS sometimes is used at the hero section, but more commonly is used as a follow-up because it's excellent in building a narrative. Again, PS aims to convince your target audience and create a connection with you to make them believe that, yes, you understand my problem. I should trust you. And for this reason, it doesn't really try to convert in that section. It just try to tell the user that I got your back, I understand you. Let's move to the third framework, the FAB, features, advantages, and benefits. That's exactly what it says. It's that section where you go over in more detail about your features, where people stand to benefit, the advantages of trusting you. That's that section. All right, and here it's pretty simple. You list the features of your products, you state the advantages, and then you go to the benefits. Now, this can be FAB, it can be BFA, it can be, sometimes you start from your benefits and then talk about the features that provide those benefits, right? And then the advantages of people using your particular features. Let's go for an example with a productivity tool, right? The feature can be our project management software include task tracking, team collaboration, and real-time updates. Advantage, with task tracking, you can stay on top of deadlines. Team collaboration ensures everyone is on the same page. Real-time updates keeps you informed of any changes instantly. And then the benefits, so this means you can complete products faster, avoid miscommunication, and stay ahead of your competition. Remember what I said, it can be FAB, it can be BFA, you can start from with us, you can complete projects faster. Our project management tool allows you to do X, advantages, you do Y, right? So yes, you can trade around, but it's features, advantages, and benefits. This is an example this is an example at HM, where you can see there are no call to actions. It's just advocacy. Hey, here's what we do. Here's what we do. Here's what we do. Now this is a good example. It's Arena just walking through different features on the app. Now, what makes FAB efficient? People want to know how you deliver on your promises. Yes, so it tries to satisfy that curiosity. It also acknowledges that the people who are detailed enough to want to know exactly how you would deliver are also detailed enough to sit down and read. So if you the part of your website that's the most worthy might be the FAB section. And it's commonly used after the PAS section we talked about earlier. Lastly, its aim is to establish credibility. You typically don't put a CTA on the FAB section, no. You're just there to tell the user that I can do this, right? The fourth framework I want to talk about is the For You framework. And the 4 U's are useful, urgent, unique, and ultra specific. So the For You framework ensures that your copy is compelling enough by focusing on 4 major elements. 1, the copy has to be very useful to the user. 2, it creates a sense of urgency. 3, it's unique. So you have to highlight what makes you unique. And then 4, it's ultra specific. You have to be very, very specific on what you're offering. Remember, unique. So let's look at this example with a fitness app. Useful. Discover how app can improve your fitness routine. It's useful to you. Urgent. Limited time offer, get a 30-day free trial now. So we create urgency right after that. Unique. Our app uses personalized AI-driven workouts tailored to your specific goals. And then ultra specific. Join over 50,000 users who have achieved their fitness goals with our app. This is an example of a section of a page that applies the 4 U's. It shows why it's useful, creates urgency, tells why it's unique, and then went extra specific. Find your next paying customers in 60 seconds with 3 simple steps. It doesn't get more specific than that. So what makes For You useful? It's conversion specific. The For You aims for conversion. It just pulls on multiple parts of human psychology to encourage people to make a decision. It's that section that you pull out all the cards. You go hard in making people do something. And because of that, it's very commonly used just after the banner, just in case the banner has convinced them and they're close to making a decision. For You drives it. Or just before your pricing section, because of course. Now remember, these things are confusing. Yes, I know. Stick with me to the end. We're going to have a 5-day practical section where you can go over each of them, apply them, and see how it works for you. And the 5th is the PASTOR framework. PASTOR stands for problem, amplify, story, transformation, offer, and response. Now, this is very wordy, but I promise you, you've seen it a lot more times than you know. PASTOR starts with the problem. We've talked about it. Address the problem you want to face. Now, this part is important. It's very similar to the PAS. You amplify the problem, you agitate for the problem, you create some urgency around the problem, you really highlight the frustration it causes. Adds a story. Is there somebody who's benefited because of this problem? Is there an opportunity that was missed because of the problem? Is there something you could highlight to just drive home how important the problem is? Do it. Now, once you share the story, run through your solution. But you're not just talking through your solution, you're transforming that entire problem to something amazing by applying your solution. It's here you make people visualize how your solution could work for them. So you placed them in a scenario and then you took them out of that scenario with your solution. Lastly, you present your offer. So sometimes the PASTOR is not even a single section. The entire landing page can be layered with PASTOR in mind. But once you've presented your offer, show the user a clear call to action so they can, take action. Let's work on an example with a nutrition app, right? We'll say, problem, struggling with low energy and poor health. Amplify, low energy affects your productivity, mood, and overall quality of life. Let's talk your story. John, 40 years, felt exhausted every day until he tried our health program. See? Transformation within weeks. John experienced a remarkable increase in energy and improved health. Again, if you've not launched your product yet and you don't have a story with your product, think of the research, how you had created that product, something you'd personally done and you succeeded at, where you had transformed somebody, maybe they even inspired you to create a product in the first place. Yes. Offer, join our 12 weeks health program and transform your life. Response, sign up today and take the first step towards a healthier you. All right, let's take a deep breath. Are you ready? I mentioned we're going to talk about this, and this is a very important part. 5 customers in 5 days challenge. Now, 5 here doesn't mean you're limited to 5. 5 here means that we're going to aim to get at least this number. If it's a new product, it's amazing. If it's an existing product, feel free to tackle a different customer vertical and then apply these principles. What we're going to be doing here is the first and second day, we're going to be putting together a landing page. We'll do it together. You can do yours. We'll do one as a group, and then you do yours. I'll look over it and try to give my feedback. Here we're going to leverage the tools that we have talked about and apply the frameworks that we've just learned. Day 2 and 4 is we're going to spend distributing this landing pages, this messaging, whatever it is, to where our target audience is. Here, there are a few more principles I'm going to also teach so that you know how well to reach out to people, whether it's through ads, through direct DMs, whatever, through cold calls, cold messages. We'll go over all that. And then by day 5, we've seen at least 1 or 2 things that succeeded. You're going to learn how to create systems around the things that did succeed so that you can automate them and scale them for even more success. So how is this challenge going to be useful for? If you're doing a product or service launch, trying to discover your 3 Ps, this is going to be super important for you. If you're doing customer discovery, trying to know who your customers will be, don't miss this 5 customers in 5 days challenge. It's going to be very helpful for you. If you're trying to grow your revenue, you're considering a different type of customers, you don't know how to go after them, or it will be helpful to just get more support in going after them. This is going to be useful for you. And you're trying to attain market leadership. This is going to be useful for you too. You've made it to here, register here. It is entirely free. It is entirely free. Register here, ATF challenge, and let's find you those customers. Let's see you apply these principles. For now, I'll say thank you so much for staying on to this end. Please join us at the ATF community. We do things like this. We also support a lot of founders to help them succeed so you can be part of our success story. So it's bye for now and see you